Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, the biggest news, the biggest fight of the year in boxing is Canelo Alvarez versus Daniel Jacobs. In the middleweight division is for middleweight supremacy. Basically, the one that wins that fight, if there's no controversy, is the baddest one. Of course, technically, there's still one title left. That's the title Demetrius Andrade has, and he probably still will have because Gennady Golovkin ain't gonna fight nobody. So that's the only problem there. But this is the biggest fight with the biggest news and it makes you happy about it. It's going to be on May the 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and we know. So leading up, everybody's saying everything. These guys are basically respectful towards one another. You know, they both think they're going to win, and they can tell you why. Obviously, they're boxers, and they're supreme confident. They should be. They both have good stories and things like that. But here's something I thought was very significant. Daniel Jacobs said a lot of things leading up. And recently he just said, listen, man, to be honest with you guys, I'm a fan of Canelo Alvarez. I'm a fan of Canelo Alvarez. And me, this is my opinion now, I think he's a fan of Canelo Alvarez probably because Canelo's versatility, right? Canelo versatility. I wasn't a fan of Canelo. I'm still not really a fan of Canelo because the things that he gets away with outweigh the positive things. I mean, it's hard to be a fan of someone when I watched what people did to Austin Trout with open scoring in San Antonio. And you could raise your hand after that. That was just, I don't like, that's cheating to me. And I don't think he beat Laura. I think you need to readdress that and things like that. Even in his fights, where he gained my respect was against Gennady Golovkin, even though I don't think Canelo didn't win either of those fights. I think he lost the first one, and definitely. And the second one, you could give him a draw. But you couldn't take the titles from Gennady Golovkin for that performance. But I think that's why I can understand the respect and the reason why Jacobs is a fan of Canelo Alvarez. Because you are acknowledging how awesome the dude is. Listen, people that I'm not a fan of, Canelo has earned my respect through those Gennady Golovkin matches. Because the first match, he showed his defense was impeccable. He had Golovkin missing shots out there. You think Wilder is Wilder. Had Golovkin looking like Wilder out there, right? And missing a lot of shots, but he wasn't making them pay enough to win the fight. But his defense was on display in that first fight against Golovkin. In the second fight, his heart was on display because, listen, I'm standing in front of somebody who don't too many middleweights stand in front of and arguably beat him. And arguably is good enough. For me, I don't think he beat him, but he tied him standing right in front of him. Those are awesome things. Canelo has showed all of his skills in the last couple of fights. And, here's something also. He goes up to beat Rocky Fielding in the 168. We call it a very easy fight, like everybody was beating Rocky Fielding. I just had watched Rocky Fielding beat someone who was not a buster in Tyrone Soiga, the German cat. Right? He was the regular champion, but he wasn't a buster. Right? He wasn't like everybody going to beat Rocky Fielding like that. Rocky Fielding went out there in Germany and took Tyrone Soiga out. So it's not just everybody's going to go up in weight and treat Rocky Fielding like that. We always do that after somebody lose. So he gets props for going up and beating Rocky Fielding like that. Right? If it would have been some kind of hard fight and split decision, then maybe not. But no, I went up and dominated him. Canelo gets all the props in the world for that. And even though I'm not a fan, I recognize real. I recognize talent. Listen, I'm not a fan in all sports and other boxers and stuff. I wasn't a fan of Mike Tyson. Never was. Never was a fan of Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people, and if you go to other sports, I'm not a fan of LeBron James, even though he didn't came to LA. I wouldn't like LeBron James, didn't like Michael Jordan. Right? He wasn't on my damn team. I ain't like you. I can't stand James Harden right now. He's the leading scorer in the NBA right now. In tennis, I don't like Rafael Nadal. I like me some Federer and some Djokovic. I don't like Nadal. But that's a bad boy. The best clay court player we've ever seen. And by far. But I don't like him. Right? And then when he get 40, maybe I might like him a little bit. It's just the way it is. And most of the time, my seal of approval is that I don't like you. Because that means you doing something awesome, but you just ain't on my team. Or you bothering the dude that I like. Just like most sports. But I can admit it. So if I say I don't like somebody, they are probably awesome. Okay? Or they doing some stuff that's just cheating and stuff. I don't like that kind of stuff. So that's the thing. But I'm just saying, when Canelo, no, I'm not a Canelo fan, but let me tell you, I'm a Canelo recognizer, right? He recognized skills. That boy is bad. So he has my respect. I think that Danny Jacobs though did better against Gennady Golovkin than Canelo did. All right, especially in the first fight. And Jacobs has a loss against Golovkin, and Canelo doesn't. So those are the kind of things that I don't really like about Canelo. A lot of them are not his fault. It's the fault of, hey, they've seen that this is a guy that boxing most fans love, so he gets a lot of, gets a lot of things going his way. I don't think that's good for your character. But like I said, it's not his fault, right? Because they're just doing it. Every close fight he's getting people. We all know this. Look at how everybody in boxing. Everybody, boxers, promoters, whatever. Everybody's saying this, and they won't do nothing about it. They say, well, Jacobs, if he don't knock Canelo out, he's not winning that fight. He's not going to win on the scorecards, right? That's just wrong. It's like, what are you talking about? That's like Trump with security people working in the White House with top secret clearances that are damn near criminals and shouldn't have got them. They shouldn't have got clearances. Here you go, Trump is giving people top secret clearances working in the White House, and they didn't get them. They were not eligible, and he just overruled. Think about that. And all the Republican senators and all that are ignoring things that huge because the bigger, for them, we'd rather have him in there, right, than a Democrat or someone who's trying to do right. We don't care how illegal he is. Why are we investigating somebody? That's their point. Those are the people that are leading our country. So sometimes people don't give a damn, right? Bad people are going to be bad people. Right? I don't know why. I just want to get that in there so people can recognize what's really going on. There's something else, and that's the same thing that's going on with boxing. I call it BTBG, beat the black guy. That's what it is. In boxing, right there, that's what it is. Because Eddie Hearn, who we get on because of the negotiation with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. But make sure this is clear. Eddie Hearn has recognized way when he took Daniel Jacobs about 2 years ago now. Right? Eddie Hearn realized Daniel Jacobs should be a lot bigger in the USA. It's ridiculous. If he was in any other country, this would be a mega star. A mega star. We understand he's beat cancer. He's arguably beat GGG. He's fought 4 guys undefeated in a row, and he wants to fight most other people. He lost to Pirog. Oh, he got knocked down, got up, but still, you lost that fight. And then come back and you haven't lost since. You were really the first one that made Gennady Golovkin look like very vulnerable, except for Kell Brook. So at the end of the day, guys, I think that he sees something. I think Daniel Jacobs is ready for this fight. Daniel Jacobs said, I'm stronger and faster than Gennady Golovkin, so I'm going to give this guy some problems. So I'm interested to see the fight. I think it's the biggest fight of the year. I think Daniel Jacobs has a point. I think he needs to be more famous. I think that it is true, though, that he better knock him out or dominate him. I'm talking about seriously dominate him. And I can't see that happening because we saw Floyd Mayweather dominate him. I mean, to where it shouldn't have been nothing. And one judge gave that even. So that's why people think that it's going to be hard for Daniel Jacobs to do this. So, but I do think this. This is still the biggest news and the biggest fight of the year. Hats off for Canelo for taking it because, see, Canelo is in the driver's seat. He doesn't even have to. Canelo could have fought do what Gennady Golovkin is doing. Fight nobody and say we're going to fight the trilogy in September with Gennady Golovkin. No, Canelo wants to unify the division and be undisputed. So much props to Canelo here as well. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I am out of here, y'all.